ability to start having a little more insight on the cases. It'll give you a lot of legal IQ and a lot of legal strategies. So I tell people, this is war. I tell people all the time, court is not about who tells the truth, it's who tells the better story. Who has the better strategy, 9 times out of 10 wins. The state is dealing with court cases all the time. They have people for this. They get paid for that. The state is not just surprised when somebody get in trouble. They have enough cases. They practice and do all of these drug cases, all of these things. They have drug dogs. They have police officers trained, other agencies trained for in these areas. So you go in there, you're untrained. You hire an attorney, and you got $1,500 on a criminal case, and they got all these trained experts, and he don't have enough of the resources. What $1,500 going to do? Because he might have to use experts that could do forensics and all of these other skills that may be necessary. Most of us are not equipped to deal with these trained professionals. That's just like going into a UFC or a boxing match and never sparred, never had a professional fight, didn't even train. Just go in there with somebody like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and you're stressed straight off the street. You're going to get beat up. You're going to get your head caved in because these people are trained. Most of us are not that savvy. We don't think in that capacity, because I hear a lot of people on the internet, but I know they're not litigators. Why? Because I think from a different level, from experience. From experience. These are trained professionals. Most people can. Go ahead.
Can you mention about a month ago about having legal IQ? Legal. You mentioned you called it legal IQ. You mentioned that you also about a few minutes ago it's not who tells the truth, who tells the best story.
Right.
Also having a strategy. You mentioned that too. You put heavy emphasis on having a strategy, having legal IQ. You know, can you go more? Can you go into that?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you an analogy, right? Like a boxer. If you ever I love boxing and fighting. They always talk about ring generalship or IQ, the boxer's IQ. That's based on his experience in the ring and how he know how to navigate through that, how he know how to block, how he know how to defend, and how he know how to counterattack, right? Your legal IQ is based on that. I have enough legal experience where I go into court very prepared, very meticulous, very thorough. I don't come in there. My legal IQ, I'm assessing the room. After a few hearings, if I'm going, I can tell where the judge sits based on their demeanor, based on their position, based on the prosecutor. I start picking up on what's going on, and then I can see the environment, how the judge is ready to receive me, what's going on, how if I'm objecting, is the judge trying to overtalk me? What is the judge doing? So you got to get prepared because they'll overtalk you. Where they'll just keep talking over you. Then you got to know when to object. I'm objecting. This court is not giving me a matter to be heard. I need this court to understand that I have a right to defend myself. And the only way I can defend myself if the court will stop over talking me. So I'm objecting to this. I'm asking the court to make a ruling on this, sustain or deny. So I can preserve records for the appeal. I need the court to understand that right now I'm uncomfortable And that's a part of your judicial canons. It's not to be rude and be interrupting the case, because this is a court of record and I'm trying to maintain the record for appeal. And if I don't object or identify certain things, I cannot identify plain error for the record. They know you know when you talk like this. They know you know. That's legal IQ when you can assess everything. But that comes with experience, qualified experience. That's years of litigation. You're not gonna walk in there and they're gonna try to blow you out the water. I see the judge, they try to talk over all the time. Object. I'm just calm. I ain't finna argue with the judge. Why? Because I already know the tools and the strategies. I'm gonna have to file a stay. I might have to file an injunction. All these due processes. Too many due process issues, Your Honor. I ain't being heard. Well, what is you trying to be heard? Come on, we ain't, listen. I'm asking, can I be heard, or is this court going to deny me the right to be heard? Well, I'm gonna let you be heard. Okay, you have several motions. I want to present my case and defend against what's going on. I need to be heard. I need to create this record. I'm objecting. I'm objecting. You're not ruling. I'm not in agreement. I raise due process challenges, constitutional challenges, and the court is overriding, over talking me. Part of your judicial canons is supposed to be impartiality. It seems like you're being favored. Well, how are you saying that? Look at the conduct that you're giving. Look how favorable you're playing to the prosecutor, and everything you just disregard, and it's over talking me every time I talk. But you got to know the rules. You got to know the rules of judicial conduct. How they name it in your state. You got to know these different things. This is courtroom strategy. You can't walk in there. You got to know the superintendent rules. You have to understand there's a lot of moving parts in here. Most people is not ready for this type of heavy litigation. These people are trained professionals. I'm going to say this once again. They are trained professionals. And you coming fresh off the street trying to act like you a pro se because you heard somebody on YouTube, somebody in the movement talk like this. And they ain't prepared you for nothing.
Excellent, brother. Excellent. Excellent. Got an A plus, brother, in the cookie.
So let me see. I talked about legal strategies. I talked about legal IQ. Let's get into legal strategies. Let's get a little bit into depth in strategy. Sometimes you might be outnumbered. Let's say this is a game of chess. The opponent might have a little more pieces in you. But because of your strategy, you might can still get a checkmate. What do I mean? So a lot of times when you have the legal IQ, and a lot of things what you're trying to do is create or show where there's due process and other violations that affected the outcome of the case based on jury selections, not being able to question jurors. It's about the court's impartiality being unfavorable, being double-minded, not adhering to the rules because once the rules is violated, they unforgiving. The rules, when I say they unforgiving, if a prosecutor come to court and you ask for a Brady discovery and you put that motion in, because there's a lot of legal strategies I used to do. I'm just waiting on them to mess up on one. So I'm already thinking, I'm salivating. Why? Because I moved my pieces on the chessboard so that I know I got an angle of attack. So I'm salivating. He coming there, judge like, okay, well, judge, okay, they ain't got the discovery. So the judge is talking over you. Well, we're gonna continue. No, I'm objecting, Your Honor. The rules is unforgiving. Prosecutor known or should have known. He's a prosecutor. He took a license. He know these rules apply, and they strictly have to be strictly adhered to. Nah, we ain't doing that. And then he ain't show good cause. Why is the court trying to be more favorable to these conditions, and the prosecutor didn't even present one? Why the delay or anything? So I'm objecting to that. And I'm asking for automatic dismissal with prejudice on the grounds of due process violation. Because this court guarantees due process. So I'm asking this court to act and honor in accordance to what is here presented in front of this from you today, Your Honor. Most people don't know that. I don't have to think about it because I know it. You're talking about somebody who litigated for years. Not for a week, not for a month. I'm talking about for years. Who did a lot of litigation. So I'm trying to get you to understand that we're dealing with trained professionals, and you have to have a legal eye. That came with time, experience, and constantly going over it. Practice. You're not going to get here, I promise you. You ain't going to be able to do what I do. I promise to God, you're going to get in there and you're going to forget your lines. You're going to be like, well, I wrote down what they told me to say on from YouTube, and I wrote it. It ain't going to, the judge going to eat you up alive because he's going to see it coming. Oh, we got one of those. They're going to intimidate you. You're going to be intimidated. I walk in there, it's natural. It feels like I'm like a fish in water. It's a natural environment for me because I done did it so much. Good morning, Your Honor. Going there, meet and greet. How you doing, Your Honor? It's a great day to be alive. I'm glad I'm here. Could we, I'm talking with respect. I'm going in there. I might have on my uniform, work uniform, you go in there presentable. Don't go in there with no jeans. Go in there like you look like you somebody. People treat you different. They don't know why you're there until they read the case. The judge, when they call you up, the judge only gonna look at the charges when you get in front of them. They don't know what's going on. Judge, so we talking about findings, facts, and circumstances. The judge don't know what the facts are yet or the circumstances and what was the findings. It's all going to go through the discovery process, and the judge going to look at it then. They're not taking your case home and looking at it because you filed some motions. No, they're going to deal with it when they sit down. When they sit down and your case is called, your number, the judge is going to look at it. They ain't taking it home. They ain't discussing it unless it's a very high profile case. So legal strategies is being able to understand how to set your game plan up, how you did a proper investigation, when you gonna hit them, how you gonna hit them with the motions, how many motions you gonna file, when you gonna bust their head. It's so many different things. Like you gotta set it up. You might call a witness, you might change or amend your witness list 7 days before trials because you got some more witnesses you want to bring in as a strategy so they don't be all the way prepared. Like, who's these witnesses? Yeah, I put them in before that, Your Honor. They ain't answered. They ain't even rebuttal. They ain't even challenging. They might. Depends on what the case is about. The feds, a lot of times, they're going to look at it. And sometimes they won't. But most people ain't got no legal strategy. I'm going to tell you one time I was in court. This is a legal strategy. My child's mother tried to charge me with something. My attorney waited to her witnesses. He went to a whole nother trial and waited till everybody left. Court was closed. Came right back in. Judge, it's just me, her, and the judge. Got her up on that stand and ate her alive. She broke down and told the truth. My feelings was hurt. He was with another woman, then he left me and he went with this other woman. Feelings was hurt. Where did he get that from? Somebody showed him that. He was prepared for that. How did he know what to do in that circumstances? Because he deal with those types of cases. He done it before. So we talking about experience. Don't listen to some people that don't understand all the techniques involved. It ain't just I'm gonna go up there and read file some papers. That's not gonna work. I'm gonna get up here and I'm gonna, say what they told me to say, and I'm gonna stick to that. You don't know how to interview jurors. You acting as your own attorney. You ain't did a video. You ain't questioned the after the trial. You ain't did none of that. Interview none of the jurors after to see if a juror was pressured into filing guilty or whatever. If he was hanging in the balance, you don't know what's going on. Most of y'all don't have that wherewithal because you don't have that in-depth experience. Most of the people in the internet, they don't have that in-depth experience. But you're going to pay for those kind of lawyers. Johnny Cochran, you're going to pay $500,000. He's going to charge you by the minute. He's going to charge $1,000 an hour. You're not going to get them kind of attorneys for free. They're going to come with it. That's a lot of experience. They got to hold a good name. You're going to pay them. Why? They're going to get private investigators. They're going to pull out all the stops. They're going to get the press involved. They're going to do a whole lot of stuff. When you got a real good attorney and you paying him some money, you coming out your pocket $100,000. Most of y'all ain't got that kind of money. And the system know that. They know what it takes because they trained professionals. We don't have no trained professionals over here. We're sitting ducks. I want y'all to understand this. You are a sitting duck. Why? Because they're going to tell you go hire your attorney. That costs money. That's why we're talking about this civic center, something that you can have some professionals in there that's experienced, that could do some things, that could talk to the community, that could continue the outreach, that could work with agencies, that could do all the things our community has been lacking. Y'all don't even understand a part of this. When I've been studying law so long that I look at everything from a whole nother perspective. I think about what's wrong, what's right. I'm thinking like that. I'm thinking in a more in depth because I litigated. I know what our community needs. We're out here butt naked, running around in the nude because we don't have these institutions that safeguard us. This is why I'm talking to y'all. We are like people walking in the street, off the streets, trying to go in and fight a trained professional fighter and get in a ring with them. Just like you ain't never had a fight, and you sending your son and your daughter go fight Muhammad Ali in the ring when he was in his prime. Your daughter and your son probably go home in a coma. Why? Too much experience, too much training, and is a professional athlete at what he do. So why is we sitting around doing this now? Why ain't nobody thought about this? Why is we talking about individual processes? Why are we talking about this and we don't understand what we're up against? Because I hear people and I know they don't know what we're up against. I know it. Nobody is talking like this. I know because I listen to people. And you're not going to do it by yourself. I've been in that court and fought for remedies for years. They just hang you with the process. You might have a job. They job, you go to their job every day. They getting paid for you to show up. Prosecutor, judges, bailiffs. You be like, John, I gotta go to work today. Got nothing to do with me. I'm getting paid. Everybody in that courtroom getting paid but you. You missing a day of work. Now how that's long that's gonna last, and you gotta feed you gotta maybe a wife at home, you got a house, a car note, and all of this. How long you think you gonna survive? How long? How long you think you gonna stomach this and before you break down? All your little twos and fews, all your money dry up. How long? Before you miss your car note, your car payment. Your mama didn't put her house up. How long?
Hey, Brother King,
Yes.
you have here with the number two. We go right to number two. I think you hit on parts of some of number two. File your complaint with the necessary governing bodies before action in a lawsuit.
So this is what you gotta know. I hear a lot of people talking about, well, I'm gonna sue the judge, I'm gonna sue this person, I'm gonna sue that. There's governing bodies. Why you want to file with the proper governing bodies? You want to see, right, what what the agencies find. Because that's going to be evidence that's going to strengthen your position. Do not go and file the lawsuit premature. Go do your investigation. If there was some judicial misconduct, you file your proper complaints, you do all of that and see what they find. If they don't find nothing, then you can say, well, look, the court is not being what? Amicable. They're overlooking things, and this is why it's very relevant for me to file this complaint due to the actions of the state or this governing body. Now you got evidence, especially if you got strong evidence that's going to lead you to a chance for a victory. Now you can show a parallel conduct that the agency is overlooking the behavior of the officers and their conduct. Now, if they do agree, now that's going to even strengthen your position. But you see how, if you understand how to do this, you can do this. It's all type of stuff that you can do. This man is just, once you understand these things, now your job is to put enough bullets in the chamber that you don't run out. You want to load the clip. You want to have an extended barrel. You got 1,000 rounds. Because you did all the stuff that you were supposed to do before you took action and filed a complaint. You got your evidence this high is already stacked. You know what to do, how to look at it. These are strategies that you need to take. A lot of people, they're not teaching you this. I know they're not. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Now you got to wait on the agency. They got to make a finding. You want to do all of that. Why? Because you want to show and have your stuff documented in a row. You want to show everything. You want to have a record. You want to have the people you talk to. You want to email them. Hey, I need your email address. Stop talking to people over the phone. Because over the phone is one thing unless you're going to record it. In my state, you can record anybody over the phone. Long as you are part of the conversation. You don't even have to tell them that it's being recorded. You got to look up the laws in your state. You got to know how to go about this. This is what I'm talking about, legal strategy. You talk to somebody who's very thorough in exercise of legality.
Yeah, I think you touched on the filing necessary file complaint with necessary governing bodies. We have here must know the principles Principle of the finding of facts and rules of evidence.
So why I'm talking about this, you must understand what evidence is admissible or inadmissible. If you don't know the rules of evidence and the principles in which that it sits on this axis, then you won't know what evidence, how to look at evidence. You won't know what's good or bad evidence. You won't understand the hearsay rule. You won't understand coming from certain agencies or certain things. You want clear, convincing evidence. Why do you want it from there? From an agency standpoint, because they're going to help you. It's not a preponderance of evidence because you're not in a court. You want clear, convincing evidence from an administrative agency showing to help you preserve your findings and your evidence. You building a catalog of records that you're going to be able to present. And if you're very thorough and you understand what you're doing, then you can try to prove your case. And if you get enough jurors to see or that you can sway based on what you testify and present to the jury. But this has come with strategy, technique, understanding, legal IQ. We're not just, you talk to a brother who don't go in there with just some legal paperwork, thinking I'm going to win. I got some nationality paperwork, man. I'm finna go ahead and knock their head in. See where that gets you. You're talking about a brother who's heavily understanding litigation. This is what we'll be talking about April 2nd. Due process. We're going to go over due process. I'm going to be putting material out. Books, seminars, lectures, work studies. Why? Why do we need this? Because we're running around, we're equivalent to running out naked in the cold, in the wilderness. And we seeking shelter, and we don't have it. And a tornado is right behind you. Our community is that bare. You know why we don't have a whole lot? It's because we're the least protected. Protection. I want you to understand, protection is the key to a strong economy. Without protection, you won't have what you got very long. You got to protect your children. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect your wife. You got to protect your property. You got to protect your economics. You got to protect them. Because if you don't protect your money, what's going to happen? You're going to lose it. If you don't protect your children, what could happen? You can lose your children. They can go to jail. They can get hurt. They can die out there in them streets. If you don't protect yourself, you can lose your job. You can lose everything you built. You can lose your family. You don't protect your wife, you can lose your wife. This is why this is moving. What we're doing is so important because it creates that protection that we need so we can get to business as usual. We can start building up our community. We can start doing the things that was God sent us to do and be fruitful and multiply. We can change it. It's not hard. But you got to understand that you coming from a person who actually studied enough law and understand, oh, these are strategies. Now I'm setting up, okay, we got to set up these strategies. Why are we setting up these things in place? So we can build up our community, safeguard and protect our community. How many times have we built cities, towns, all of these different things and came and tore them down, burned them up, did it over? How many times? They talk about cities underwater and all of these different things. I'm just telling you, we have to protect it. Got to understand the law. We got to have these legal tools. We got to safeguard our community. We have to understand what we can do legally. There's so many things that I'm looking at that most people don't think about, that I think about because I come from a legal standpoint, because I argue these things. Not only that, I just see that necessary for our community to heighten our ability to thrive. This is what we're going to do. Why? Ultimate protection. There's so many things going to come out of this. It's ridiculous. Help us build, protect our community, strong economy, build a security level that we never had in our community. Having
Hey,
access
right.
to
Hold on,
mental.
hold on, King. Raheem, do you have any questions? Because I'm looking at the comments. I don't see a lot of activity in the comments. Uh, if you have any questions, y'all put them in the chat. We don't have a lot of people on in the comment. I know what last week had one person put in about 12 so comments. So we don't have that tonight.
Somebody,
High Print Priestess, White Wolf, Peace. Diamond Guy 528. Diamond Guy asked, "Can I join the Zoom?" Asking about April 2nd. Can I join the Zoom? Raheem, get your number out again.
Numbers 347-832-9875.
Your contact brother Raheem if you want to join the Zoom, and he'll send you the Zoom link on for April 2nd. They're coming in. All right, so we have Divine Brilliance 3781. They're coming in now. They're coming in now. Here we go. Here we go. Divine Brilliance 3781. What is the legal concept of power game?
I don't know what that is. Is that a
Neither do I. So Jeffrey Bay 62. Brilliant. Divine Brilliance. Can you explain what you mean by this question? What is
uh,
the legal concept of power games? Jeffrey Bay 6207. Good information. Taking notes. Awesome. BD Bay Islam. The message is clear. Kurt Thomas. Peace, brother. Yo, when it's clear, it's clear. Time to study. All right, all right. We have
somebody?
Timothy Hersey, Peace Family. Sandra Austin, 1798. Welcome, family. Peace. Jason Johnson, Sun and Moon, love from Grenada. How can I join the more? You have once again, Raheem gave his number out. Wants to give your number out again, Raheem?
347-832-9875.
All right, so there's no question other than the question that's not clear. You have a question for Raheem? You have a question, Raheem, for Luisa Flores in the house. Great leadership, my brothers. Luisa has another state. It's in this group chat, his number. She said, put your chat, put your number in the chat. Group chat, Raheem. It's in this group chat, his number. What's the number, Luisa? King, you want to continue?
Yes. I want to pull up some things.
All right.
I'm just gonna pull up. Just want people to. So I'm pulling up the rules of judicial conduct, right? And we're gonna look at this, and then I'm gonna pull up my city municipal codes. Now let's pull up city.
Said his way up. I don't see his number, Louisa. Oh, it's in the chat. I got comments. All right, let me go to the chat. Oh yeah, it's in the chat. Raheem's number is in the chat. I was in the comments. Yeah, Raheem's number is in the chat. 347-832-9875. It's in the chat. All right. I was looking at the comments, Louisa. All right. Thank you, Louisa. Divine Brilliance 3781 King writes, power games may not be the legal term, but the idea is what King just mentioned about inequity of the power trip of more legally competent individuals. You understand? I don't. Help me out, brother.
I don't know.
Help me out, because I don't. I mean, I can't. I can't call it because I'm not understanding. Just
Okay,
mention. Go ahead, King.
I'm finna go over. This is the 1,000 procedure manual and other binding written directives. This is for the police department. Now, just for y'all to understand, it says procedure manual and other binding written directives to provide an official guide outline the way to do many of the routine operations confronted in the Cincinnati Police Department, to provide efficient methods and high standards for procedures, rules, regulations, policies, and directives recognized as official policies and applied on the department-wide basis. Policy. This the Cincinnati Police Department procedural manual, as well as all other police department procedures, rules, regulations, policies, and directives, are used to maintain with federal, state, and local laws and ordinance, labor agreements, civil service rules and regulations, administrative rules, regulations, and personal policies and procedures. How many know that all of these different things applies? It says the police department's procedural rules, regulations, policies, directives are used to maintain compliance with federal, state, and local laws and ordinance, labor agreements, civil service rules and regulations, administrative rules, regulations, and personal policies and procedures. All those things apply. Did you know that, Abdullah?
No.
This is their manual. This is their manual. I ain't even go over the other stuff. They got all of this stuff in here. The nature of the police service is such that it is impossible to develop a procedural plan or other binding directives for every situation that might arise. Therefore, district, sections, unit commanders have the duty of thoroughly reviewing the activities of subordinates as they must assume ultimate responsibility for defects and weakness in police work. I'm just going through some of this, right?
Yeah, yeah. Go. Please. That's good.
I'm just going through this like it's oh my god, it's extensive. It's extensive. It's extensive. I'm trying to. It says I'm cutting through. Section 2, maintain a district section standard operation procedure, the SOP. An SOP is a document containing instructions on how personnel within a district section perform certain tasks. I repeat, maintain a district section standard operation procedure known as the SOP. An SOP is a document containing instructions on how personnel with a district section perform certain tasks to ensure routine jobs are performed uniformly and with compliance with the department's policies and procedures. Cover the unique operations of a specific district section, should not be a replication of the procedural manual. One's SOP book will be maintained for each district section, will contain a separate section for each unit within a particular district section. There will be a separate SOP for any specialized units within the district and section that has a different operation that the general personnel assigned to such district and section. The SOP book will be crafted using the blank SOP templates located in the CPD forms folder on the Department H drive and contain the following: cover page, table of content, effective date, revised date, review date. The SOP would be written in online form, outline form, I mean. Just going through over some of the stuff, Abdul. This is this.
No, I'm glad you did, bro. So we can, you get a feel. They can get a feel for, what's
So
involved.
now it says visitor identification in a police facility. Let me go to vehicle. Let's go to authorized weapons. This is based on Ohio House Bill 12, Section 9. Under 18 USC 926B 926C Law Enforcement Officers Safety Act of 2004. Under Ohio Revised Code 2901.0K, Law Enforcement Officer. Ohio Revised Code 2923.12B, carrying concealed weapons. Ohio Revised Code 2923.12.1, illegal possession of a firearm in a liquor permitted premises. Ohio Revised Code 2923.12.2. It's just telling you definition: qualified law enforcement officer, an employee of a government agency who is authorized by law to engage or supervise the prevention, detection, and investigation or prosecution of or the incarceration of any person for any violation of the law, has a statutory power of arrest. I want you to read that again. Qualified law enforcement officer, an employee of a governmental agency who is authorized by law, right? Hold on. Authorized by law to engage in or supervise the prevention, detection, investigation, or prosecution of, or the incarceration of any person for any violation of the law, and has statutory power of arrest, is authorized by the agency to carry a firearm, is not the subject of any disciplinary action by the agency, meet standards, if any, established by the agency, which require the employee to meet regular qualify in the use of a firearm. It is not under the influence of alcohol or any other intoxicated. All right, that's it. hallucinatory drug, or a substance, and is not permitted by federal law from receiving a firearm. I want you to understand what that means. This is their manual. I ain't even going into all the other stuff. I ain't even went into the municipal codes of my city. I'm just talking about their manual. I ain't even get into their policy procedure. This is a manual. Y'all telling me we don't need this? We don't need to be well in tune with this information so that now we can ask the proper questions? That now we have what? A directive, a direction that we can flow with or go into? A strategic plan of action by knowing the information so you can apply the information correctly and effectively? I'm just going into that area. I don't hear nobody talking about these things. Not one. Real attorneys, they do this. But they getting paid to do this. What's the brother that always helped them when it's a big time case? What's his name? The brother that's always
Benjamin Crumb.
Benjamin Crumb. He know what to do.
Oh yeah, he talk. Oh yeah, yeah, you know.
But he expensive. You ain't getting him for no $1,500. No
Oh no.
Oh, I got
Man.
$5,000.
He always meets with the press. He always sets that up. He always has the set. He always sets the press up.
So I'm just giving y'all now. Let me go into some judicial codes of conduct before I even get into the municipal codes. I'm just giving y'all the manual. I'm just breaking some stuff down. Most people don't even talk on this level. This is what I'm talking about. When you're a serious litigator, you go through this stuff. I didn't comb through a lot of this. I didn't forget half of this stuff because I don't really litigate no more like I used to. But I'm sharp as a thumbnail. Why? I got 17 years in. So just be mindful of who you listening to and what you're trying to execute, especially dealing in the courtroom. Because if you're not aware, and you got to understand, I got a great environment. So let me tell you about my journey. I came in with somebody who was very legally proficient. Like I ran into the right brother. He put me on the right track. Then I got with my brother Benelay and we started moving. That's when he formed, we knew Kemet, working in that area. Then we branched off. I branched off and created MUST, Moorish Union of Sovereign Tribes. And we've been doing that. Now I'm evolving with Privateers of America. That's coming on. Now I'm working with Abdullah. Listen to me. I had some great teachers. Now I ran into one of my teachers, Abdullah Bey. So I wasn't proficient in international law. So when I sat down and got with him, right, he showed me a lot of things that helped me finalize what I know and helped me develop my craft even better. Because I was coming from an international standpoint. And I know certain things, what not to do. I already understood how law's supposed to do, how you look at the legal framework. Abdullah can tell you I got an extensive knowledge of legality. Extensive. So when I sat down with Abdullah and we just had a meeting of the minds, then we just start talking every day. You talking about people, I had great teachers. I had people that put me on the right track, after the right track, after years and years of studying. So we're not coming in here blindfold telling you some stuff. I'm telling you some stuff based on what I was able to do and execute and understand how to present a legal argument. Most people ain't doing all of that. Most of y'all don't know what the police officer is supposed to be doing. I was filing a motion and asking for the discovery of MDT and KDT. Most people, even prosecutors, be like, "What is this, man? If y'all don't know what this is, I don't know what to tell you. Y'all better go look this up." Is it police officers know what it is? Chatterbox. I want to transcribe and everything. We was filing all of that. Guess what? They was coming like, Yana, damn, that ain't my job to tell them what it is. I had to go to the police manual, pull it all up. They supposed to know this. Police department, I sit in and I want to discover. Is you talking? Who are you talking to? They won't have it. Sometimes they used to didn't have it. Motion to dismiss, failure to provide discovery. Police ain't show good cause. They'll come in there like, we don't even. That's not a good answer. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Talking about he don't know what that is. Too bad. Judge get to saying, well, we're gonna. I'm gonna object, Your Honor. We ain't moving. I ain't letting the judge go past. Why? Because I'm trying that now. You in agreement? No, I ain't letting you get past this. Your Honor, I'm finna file a stay. Why you trying? We staying all of this because I'm about to file notice of intent to file an injunction. Nah, we ain't moving forward to no trial. We finna deal with this. I filed motion to dismiss you. You trying to overlook? They ain't got no good cause shown for this delay or whatever. Because all they had to do was go down there and talk to their tech department or whoever they need to talk to, because it's in their manual. It ain't my job. Once I put it in the request for discovery, they need to have that phone. This is why you got to read their stuff. Most people don't even know what that is. I learned that from a guy who truly litigated, showed me what to do. It's in their stuff. Most people don't even know that. I'm asking for all type of information. They ain't even ready for that. So let's get into judicial conduct. Let's read the preamble. We're going to go all the way up. Ohio Rules of Judicial Conduct. Read the preamble. An independent, fair, and impartial judiciary is indispensable to our system of justice. The United States legal system is based upon the principle, that an independent, impartial, and competent judiciary composed of men and women of integrity will interpret and apply the law that governs our society. Thus, the judiciary plays a central role in preserving the principles of justice and the rule of law. Abdullah, it says the rule of law. I ain't just make this stuff up. You can find out this. This is what I'm trying to get people to understand. I just don't talk out the side of my neck. I need y'all to understand what y'all need to be doing. Inherit all of the rules contained in this code are the precepts that judges individually and collectively must respect and honor the judicial office as a public trust and strive to maintain and enhance confidence in this legal system. Did y'all hear that? I'm going to read section 2, and then I'm going to go down to the scope. Judges should maintain the dignity of a judicial office at all times and avoid both impropriety and the appearance of impropriety in their professional and personal lives. They should aspire at all times to conduct that ensures the greatest possible public confidence in their independence, impartiality, integrity, and competence. Now let's go down to the scope. The Code of Judicial Conduct consists of 4 canons, numbered rules under each canon, and commits that generally follows and explain each rule. Scope and terminology sections provided additional guidance in interpreting and applying the code. The applicable sections establish when various rules apply to judge or judicial candidates. So let's go down. Let's go in here, right? So they talk about these rules, the scope, preamble, and the scope. So they got 4 sections of judicial canons. The first one says a judge shall uphold and promote the independence and integrity and impartiality of the judiciary and shall avoid impropriety and the appearance of impropriety. So let's go.
Impropriety.
Propriety. I'm sorry. A judge shall comply with the law. Hold on. Compliance with the law. It says that the judge shall comply with the law. Comparison to Ohio Code of Judicial Conduct. Rule 1.1. Incomparable to the first portion of Canon 2 of the Ohio Revised of the Ohio Code. Comparison to the ABA Model Code of Judicial Conduct. It is identical to Model Rule 1.1, except the phrase included the Code of Judicial Canon is deleted. See the definition of law in the terminology section. I'm just going through all of this so you guys can understand, right, the scope. Canon 2, a judge shall perform the duties of judicial office impartially, competently, and diligently. So let's go here. That's this too. And it got a bunch. You got disqualifications, giving precedence to the duties of judicial office, impartiality and fairness, bias, prejudice, and harassment. So let's go here. Bias, prejudice, prejudice, and harassment. A judge shall perform the duties of judicial office, include administrative duties, without a bias or prejudice. A judge shall not, in the performance of judicial duties, by words or conduct, manifest bias or prejudice, or engage in harassment, include but not limited to bias, prejudice, or harassment based upon race, sex, gender, religion, national origin, ethnicity, disability, age, sexual orientation, marital status, socio-economic status, or political affiliation, and shall not permit court staff, court officials, or other subjects to the judge's direction and control to do so.
You're disappearing. All right, good. Oh wow.
I was just reading that. I was got in close.
All right.
So now I'm just gonna go into what time is it? How much time?
We got 4 minutes.
So I'm gonna go into city municipal codes. Municipal codes. Let's go into this Cincinnati municipal codes. Now it talks about charter of the city. Let's go into the charter. It says it got a supplement history table. So let's go into the charter. And then let's go into Article 1, power of the city. The city shall have all the power of local self-government and home rules. Anybody know about the home rules? That's another set of rules that you need to know.
Yeah, home rules. Yeah.
All other powers possible. That's why I told you, Abdul, I forgot a lot of stuff. We never talk about the home rules. Ohio is a state that has home rules. All other powers possible for a city to have under the Constitution of that state of Ohio. The city shall have all powers that now are hereafter may be granted to municipalities by the laws of the state of Ohio. All powers such be exercised in the manner prescribed in the charter, or if not prescribed herein, in such a manner as shall be provided by ordinance of the council. The mayor, members of council, and all officers and employees holding office at the time an amendment to the charter takes effect shall continue in office without further appointment, subject to the provisions of the charter. So I'm just going in. So we don't have a lot of time, but I'm just showing you guys what's the importance of raising up, understanding this information in totality. I talked about civil rules, a whole bunch of rules, all these procedures, but I left out home rule. I left out home rules. These are all the moving parts that you got to be able to argue. There's too many rules, and they got to be followed to the letter. Our community is equivalent to being naked outside in the cold when it's snowing. So I'm just addressing things on understanding how to look at this stuff and ensure the integrity of what we're trying to accomplish. That's why we came together, we forming a Voltron to be able to safeguard the community.
All right, all right. Well, I want to thank y'all for joining us on Moorish Monday with Abdullah El Taleb Bay, Magnus Crystal Pyramid YouTube, as well as the Moroccan Post Media YouTube. I have Nikki Love. Nikki Love will be my next guest next week, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have Nikki Love will be joining me on Moorish Monday next week. Brother King, I want to thank you, Brother Raheem. Thank you all. We're going to create another thumbnail. We got to create another thumbnail for this particular topic so that we can market this lesson. So we'll put the title. I'll have Israel create the thumbnail for this tomorrow so that we can we want to put this title down. So we can. This is a really good, you did a wonderful job, King. That's important that you brought your experience in the lesson. All right. So thank you. Till next week. Once again, my website, mooresandmasonry.org, mooresandmasonry.org. If you're interested in getting in my books. Thank you, brother Uncle Hank. I greatly appreciate you. All right. Peace, everyone.
Peace, everyone.
Peace and love.
I don't never know.
Salute to the greatest also. From North Carolina.